Hi folks, today I'm going to tell you how anybody can become a good sight reader. So stay till the end of the video so you can find out why you should become a good sight reader. So the first thing is that when you're starting your piano journey, it's really important to learn to read the music properly. It is so tempting to just either follow the patterns or copy your teacher or just even play by ear. But this is the stage where you can hone that skill of reading music and learn it as you're learning the techniques of the instrument as well. It may cause you to progress slightly slower initially than you would if you were just copying or memorizing, but ultimately it's going to give you so much more freedom in the future if you do this. It's also really important in the early stages of sight reading to have some help in knowing what it is you should be doing. So it's really useful if your teacher can set you particular things to use as sight reading practice, so that A, you're pushing yourself and constantly improving, and B, that you're not trying to sight read things that are too hard to the point where it just gets you all frustrated and you just want to give up and you stop putting the effort in. I've also found over the years that one of the biggest hindrances to sight reading and being able to improve sight reading is the amount that people look at their hands. It's having confidence in knowing that you're going to play the right notes. If you do play the wrong notes, it's not the end of the world. We can correct that. But the more you're looking at the music and at your hands, especially when it's something you've not seen before, it's so easy to get lost, and then you end up not being able to play the music fluently. Plus, if you focus on reading the music, your hands will learn through muscle memory and repetition to find notes. It'll learn the distances between them, and it'll just get to the point where you'll be able to navigate the geography of the piano fairly easy without looking. I'm not saying that I don't look at my hands 100% of the time. Of course I do sometimes, particularly when there's big jumps or perhaps chords that I'm not used to playing. But the majority of the time it'll help our sight reading if we keep focused on the music. The next really important thing when it comes to sight reading is ensuring that we do not stop. The problem being is that there's two different ways of approaching learning an instrument or reading music. One of them is obviously we want to learn pieces that stretch us, that we'll learn over a long period of time, and we're going to want to stop and correct things so that they're better the next time that we play them. But with sight reading, we're aiming to create a performance as best as we can and as fluently as we possibly can. So when we're practicing our sight reading, the more that we stop, the more it becomes a habit that every time a mistake is made, we stop, which, like I say, is preventing the fluency that we're after in this particular scenario of playing your instrument. I think it is also important to say that even when you are learning a long-term project or a bigger, more challenging piece, although it is good to stop and to correct things, because obviously we want to play them better the next time, it's also important as part of our practice in that situation to practice performing the piece without stopping. Otherwise, again, the habit of stopping just gets incorporated into the piece, and ultimately, at some point, in order to perform the piece or play it to the best of your ability, you're going to have to get rid of those pauses or any mistakes that you may have created as a pattern, which is ultimately only going to cause more practice. And who wants more practice? And this brings me to the importance of the speed at which you sight read. This is also true of the beginning of your journey with a new piece that you're going to be learning long term as well. And this is something that I see very rarely happen as it should in students, and that is playing sight reading slow enough. If you're not playing slow enough, you're going to get the mistakes, which is going to cause you to naturally want to pause. So there is a speed at which we can all play perfectly, it may feel painstakingly slow, but in the long run, it's going to save you so much time, because the mistakes that you ingrain through playing too quickly and not being able to process everything that you have to process when you're learning a piece of music, it's going to cause you to have to unwind those habits. Habits are so much harder to get out of than to create. Now, whatever stage you're at, whether you're at the beginning of your sight reading journey or you've been playing for years and you just want to improve your sight reading, I can say the most important thing to improve that is to do it regularly, because it's a skill. You're not learning the same piece every day that gradually picks up improvement. It's a completely new set of patterns every day. So it's a skill that you're trying to achieve or improve. So doing it regularly is so important. One of the things that I'm really grateful for when I was really young at primary school was that when they'd cottoned on to the fact that I could play the piano, they used to make me play the hymns every day in assembly. 9 times out of 10, I was sight reading them. Now, I can't remember how good I was at doing that, but I do accredit my ability to sight read to the level that I can now, largely to the fact that from a young age, I was playing very, very regularly things that I'd not seen the previous day. Which brings me on to the point that I think when you're at a further stage in learning, maybe around the kind of grade 4, 5, 6 level, playing through hymn books is one of the best things that you can do for sight reading. So buy yourself a second-hand hymn book off eBay and do one a day. They're amazing. I always think about the fact that footballing heroes of mine, for example, like Ronaldo, David Beckham, even though they had got to the pinnacle of their careers in the way that they did and trained in the way that they did, they still stayed back after training to practice the thing that they were already incredible at and known worldwide for, which was free kicks. They don't stop practicing it or wanting to be better. So no matter what we're doing, each day it's about being better than the last, not perfection. Because as good as they were, Ronaldo and Beckham still missed free kicks. So why do you need to be good at sight reading? Well, in my opinion, there's a few reasons, but I'll mention a couple of them now. One of them is that it just makes playing your instrument, particularly the piano, so much more freeing. It means you can hear a piece of music, be it somebody else playing it or on the radio or on a TV show, and you can think, I love that, I want to be able to play that. And the freedom of being able to buy the music, print it off, put it on the piano and sit and pretty much play it, or at least be able to play it 10 times better than you would have been able to had you not worked on your sight reading skill, is so freeing, and it gives so much pleasure, which is the whole point of music, isn't it? It's to give pleasure, and it's pleasurable for us to be able to play the music that we really enjoy listening to. And being a better reader ultimately makes us able to learn the harder pieces, the ones that we're going to learn more long-term for performances, quicker and more accurately, because our reading's better and we're able to focus on the music more than our hands. One little trick that I used to do when I was young was when I got to the point of either knowing a piece quite well so that I could play parts of it from memory, I would blindfold myself and practice playing it just to get better at being able to feel my way around the keys, which would then enable me to focus more on the music. But if I wasn't at the stage where I knew the piece well enough, I would sometimes place a cloth or a scarf over my hands so that even if I did revert to the habit of looking at them, I wasn't able to see the keys, so I was forced to find them just by using that muscle memory that I was talking about earlier. So, thanks for watching this latest video, guys. I'd really appreciate a like and a subscribe. Do check out my previous video, which should appear here right now, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. And stay tuned, because soon I'm going to be releasing a new video that's all going to be about sight reading under pressure, be it in performance or rehearsal.